welcome to another episode of the Not For Nothing podcast. So today we wanted to talk about something extremely important.
Yep.
Which is dragging out an intro.
Yeah, we finally got an intro we've been waiting for. Like an intro we've been actually begging for.
Like in a way that it made us feel like we were too gremlin-y to be introduced to society.
And almost to the point where it's like someone has been built up in your mind so much that you almost question if they actually exist. And in this day and age, it's like, are they AI? Is the person lying about the person existing?
Like, you remember those kids that would come back from summer camp and like at school be like, oh, like I had a girlfriend or boyfriend
over the summer,
like XYZ.
Yeah, I
totally
girlfriend.
have a person. They're just in a different state.
Yeah, my girlfriend upstate, like in the summer that I see her. Yeah.
So it's been kind of this like imaginary situation.
For a long time for us, it was our producer and his wife. And we didn't get that fateful intro until today. And we are so goddamn happy to say that she is real. Not only is she real, she's fucking awesome.
She washes cars.
She does, but not because she has to.
No.
Like her own.
She washes her own car.
Yeah. Yeah. We caught her at a fragile time today. But sometimes that's what I'm saying. You just have to shoot your shot wherever you are.
Yeah, like literally Mark was like, don't go.
Please do not say hi to her. She's washing the car. And we were like, all right,
hello.
We're going to go say hi to her. Great. We're going to go say hi.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Now that we know she's here, we're walking out. Could
you have imagined if she had been that close to us and we hadn't said hi to her? Like,
yeah.
There was a part of me that was thinking, will I leave LA without having met her?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. There's been other times where intros have been dragged out as well. And then, you know what sucks? When you have had an intro be dragged on for so long, you finally meet the person and they don't meet your expectations and they're below it.
You saying that's what happened?
No, not at all. It's the opposite of what happened.
I'm like, no, like.
No, for real, it's the opposite. But like, I've had that happen where I'm just like, oh, this is the guy you're in love with that you want to marry?
That's what's so weird.
He's really so much fun. You are going to have a great life together. Yeah.
And then the next time you hear from your friend is when they organize a divorce party.
Yep, exactly.
And you're like, cool.
Exactly that.
I'm glad we can start being friends again.
Yep. So I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
About, you know how people say like people can look like their dogs or their pets?
Yeah.
What do they say about people who look like their names?
Or who act like their names.
Or who act like their names. I think it could go both ways.
We were talking about this. I feel like historically Natasha's have been like an intense name. And it's like usually like Russian spy related. And
really?
Yeah. And so I don't feel like I give off that vibe, but our other friend Natasha gives off like big assassin vibes. And she's so cool. And I feel like Natasha suits her better.
I agree. I do think there could be a second.
Oh, you agree it doesn't suit me?
I don't think you give off assassin energy, no. Which, I mean, it depends what you're insulted by. Do you want to be an assassin or no?
Like, kind of, it sounds like. I would like that notoriety.
I also feel like there's a separate bookworm kind of Natasha. And I'm not saying that you're a bookworm, but I feel like you could fall into that category.
Speaking of people who act like their name, Sarahs are always mean. And I know this because my sister's also a Sarah.
Wait, what's mean about that? Me saying that there could be a bookworm generation of Natasha. There's also types of Sarahs.
No, I don't know if they're one type. They're always intense.
Yeah?
Have you ever met a chill Sarah?
Really?
No, okay.
I don't know many Sarahs.
No. Let's be clear. Sarahs with H.
Wow.
Are the good ones.
Oh, wow. All right. Now she's backing up.
Sarah with no H? You can never trust a Sarah with no H.
Agreed. I do agree.
Just kidding.
No, not. I'm like Sarah Hussein has no H,
and I trust her with my life. But she has an H like right after.
That's so true. The H is built into
it's
one.
Built
if you
into
put it
the
into
last
one
name,
word,
yeah.
you sandwiched it together.
She has the H somewhere. She's good. She's good.
Wow.
Because H represents stability. You know? Like
H is for homeostasis.
But also like just graphically, it's a very stable font letter.
I think my high school was shaped like a big H. Like 2 long hallways and then a hallway in the middle.
Yeah.
An H. It's a building structure or a prison,
I literally was about to say prison, but I was like, I don't want to insult your school.
No. Probably the closest thing to one.
Honestly, converted from one.
Right. Will become one.
What's another name? Oh, have you ever met like a Summer or an April? We were talking about these summer months recently. Summer names.
I have.
They're always also just like...
They're chaotic. Chaos. I think people with names that are months, they only feel like they prosper during that 1 month.
The rest of the year,
they're just not themselves.
They're hibernating.
They're not themselves. Okay, so let's say I have people over. Let's say I have people at my house. There's a bunch of them. There's, what do they call it? Libations? When there's like light food and drink.
Yeah.
There's light fare.
Light fare.
F-A-I-R-E, by the way. Fare. Light fare, right? That's the right pronunciation.
F-A-R-E.
I think it's F-A-I-R-E. Not sure though. Please confirm. In the meantime, when you're at someone's house that, in mixed company, mixed beverages, some people drinking, some people staying sobs, if it's the party host's refrigerator.
F-A-R-E.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does F-A-I-R-E mean?
Nothing.
Oh, it's like just old English.
The fair.
The fair. Wow. Okay. Light fare.
Okay,
F-A-R-E.
yeah. So there's light fare. This person's at your house.
You can't be the person to take the last of a single type of beverage. So if you're looking in a cooler, again, I said mixed crowd. It could be a barbecue. And there's like a cooler full of Coronas and like 4 Coca-Colas, 1 Diet Coke, and 1 Heineken. You can't take the Diet Coke or the Heineken. Someone could be saving that. You can't take the last of a single beverage, especially a cooler might be exception. A fridge.
I think a private fridge in your home
is in a kitchen fridge.
I think is unacceptable. I also think it depends on your level of proximity,
your relationship
your
to the
degree
homeowner,
of closeness. If you're like the homie, you probably know where the backup stash is anyways.
Right.
If this is the first time you're in my home, back the fuck up from the fridge.
Literally.
Why are you touching any of my belongings?
Why are you in my fridge?
Why are you in my house?
Why are you asking me for my yerba mate bottle that is unopened that I bought one off?
Like, can I have this random cold brew latte that you have in a can that clearly looks like it's like $7?
Right. That you've been obviously waiting to grab and go. I also think it applies at a barbecue. Don't take especially because I'm not a drinker, but if I brought a 6-pack of a certain type of drink to an event and I knew that's what I drank, like maybe I'm picky or maybe I don't like whatever else is there.
If I bring, for example, like a 6-pack of LaCroix or 8-pack, whatever, and I'm seeing like people who are just drinking them, it's annoying.
It is annoying.
Because I'm like, you should have brought this.
Yes.
The cooler was for it to stay cool.
Yep.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm just providing for everybody.
Mm-hmm. It can easily
especially
become
when
that.
You see a whole case that's available elsewhere.
Yeah. The rule is if there's a single flavor or beverage, don't be the one to take it. Don't be the one to ask for it. It's just, you know, because it also puts the host in an uncomfortable position. Because it's just bad etiquette.
A good host will never say no.
Yeah, you're not going to be like, can I have this $7 latte? And I'll be like, actually, I've been saving that.
Exactly. But also, like, why are you inconvenient? Like, just shut the fuck up.
Take a glass. Ask where the glass is. Ask if you have any water. All right.
Crazy. Yeah, it's the 80-20 rule, as Mark calls it.
Yeah, exactly. Mark says that you can't be grabbing any of the first 20% of an item or the last 20%. So you got to be somewhere within that 60% range in the center to participate and munch and chill.
But what I'm confused about is that Mark also said we couldn't meet his wife, and we did. So what are his rules good for?
So in conclusion, we do what we want.
So maybe we should be taking the last seltzer. Maybe we should be reevaluating the situation as new wave feminism. She spoke up for herself.
I don't want it to happen for me, but I'm happy to do it to you. Okay?
I like that.
Isn't
Girl
that
tax.
Isn't that sweet? It's like the voice memo thing. Don't you ever leave me a voice note. However, I will leave you a voice note whenever I want. Girl tax.
Girl tax.
I can't pick up this later. I have to do it with my toes.
I don't want your fucking toe later.
You just touched it, so.
But yeah, that was absolutely outrageous. But I truly think that it is the sign of a larger issue at hand. Mm-hmm. And I think the issue is the girls are sad.
There are so many sad girls right now.
The girls are sad. And by the girls, we mean everybody.
Yeah, friends, pop culture, all the girls, all of them.
They could be girls or not even girls.
We're all girls.
Everyone's girls.
Anyone listening, you're one of the girls. You're one of the girls, whether you asked to be here or not.
I mean, you asked to be here if you press play.
Girl dinner.
But clearly the girls are not having enough dinner.
The girls are not having a good time.
And they're really sad.
They want to get off this ride.
I just don't understand how, if the Selena Gomez's of the world and the Ariana Grandes of the world are sad, how the fuck are we supposed to be happy?
I know. And you also said Rosalia.
Newly
sad
single.
Girl.
Taylor Swift, clearly the OG sad
Born
girl.
Sad. Lana Del Rey working at Waffle House. Sad girl. Well, summertime sadness. White trash. Yeah.
The girls are not doing well.
They're not doing great. But we're praying for the girlies. But
I think it needs to be addressed. There's a
sad girl era happening.
There's a sad girl era happening.
Sad girl summer.
I'm over it.
I'm ready for funny girl fall.
Funny girl fall. And we said we were going to channel feral girl summer, and I feel like we did not.
I feel like we're doing it.
We're feral in some ways, but in others, we're just sad.
Yeah, I think you could. I don't think feral and sad are mutually exclusive.
Yeah, but I want feral and happy.
That would be nice. So in LA, I noticed that for events.
Yeah.
You guys don't just text people and be like, come by, or I'm having a birthday party or a get together or an event. You send out a Partiful link.
So, okay, here is how you have to ensure that your friends show up to your house in Los Angeles.
Okay.
You have to at least message them or contact them 14 days in advance.
2 weeks. We're going 2 weeks.
2 weeks with first it starts with an initial save the date text. Oh, I'm thinking of having this thing.
And is this through Partiful or is this just a text you send?
This is just text or DM. I think I'm going to have this thing. Are you even in town? Then you start building initial list. Then you build Partiful. Then you send the Partiful out maybe 10 to 7 days out.
Okay.
And then 3 days before you reconfirm.
Partiful is for people who don't know, it's kind of like Eventbrite,
yeah,
right?
Except it's you can just use it for your friends and your parties. Mm-hmm. And it's what's kind of cool about it, whatever, is that you can text people through it. And so then 3 days before you send a reminder thing like this event is coming up, and then the day before you send a text, this event is coming up, and that text has to include the address and the time. And then usually the thing will like send a text like 2 hours before.
So are we thinking that people in LA like this because they don't have to be annoying with their follow-up to be like, by the way, this is still going on.
Exactly.
We'll see you in 2 days. No pressure or anything. So it takes like the pressure off of being the annoying follow-upper.
Yeah, because I think that in LA, in order for people to show up to your stuff, like you need to be doing this amount of follow-up and checking in, because I feel like people, and especially like in the creator space, whatever, they're honestly just like tallying up all the events and then like seeing which one will like be most beneficial to them and like ranking them and like you
basing on which one to figure out to go to.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, you gotta like make sure you do the follow-up or you're gonna get bumped off.
Yeah, because they're gonna forget that it's happening.
Exactly. Because like in between you sending the message, maybe this person received like 4 other invitations.
Wow.
And also because I feel like people in LA like don't leave their houses really unless they will gain something out of it, kind of. And
Clout-wise.
Yeah, like you gotta follow up. And so it's fine. I've embraced it. I do the Partiful, whatever.
I like that.
But it definitely gives like a level of intensity.
Do you think I should bring the Partiful to New York?
No, I miss the good old like I'm just pulling. It's so funny here because I feel like in New York, it's like I'm just like, oh, I'm in your neighborhood. Like, I'm going to come up and smoke real quick, whatever. Let's hang out. And here it's like, come at XYZ time. We are going to be consuming cannabis in my living room.
Yeah, that's so true. It's very formal.
And
it
I'm
tells
just like,
you exactly where,
up.
what, when. So you don't have to be like, what do I wear? What's the vibe? It's kind of almost like the OG Facebook invite, though. Facebook event invites.
It really is.
Because it does show you who's coming. So you don't have to be like, well, who else is coming? You could literally see who is coming, who can't come, why they can't come, everything. It's dope. I might bring it to New York in a very casual fashion. You know those friends that you could do chores with?
Yeah.
Chore friends.
Errand friends.
Errand friends. For sure. To-do list friends. And not to be confused with the to-do list friend that's somebody you pencil in because you have to.
Yeah.
A to-do list friend meaning somebody you tackle your to-do list with. So I think that that's a very sacred relationship. And I think we should talk about what constitutes an errand friend and what does not.
What does not.
What does not. So I think for errand friends, some of my best friends, I love to do 2 things with. Number 1, laundry.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like it makes it so much more exciting. It's such a boring, daunting task, especially in New York when you have to go to the laundromat. Yeah. So if it's like someone who lives in your neighborhood and you guys could just be like, yeah, I'll meet you there. Or someone who's driving, they'll be like, I'll drive my laundry over to my laundry too at the same time. It makes it so much less daunting. Secondly, I would say friends who want to go to the grocery store.
Yes.
And I think it's fun because it makes a whole thing out of it. Like, you can talk about things that they buy and be like, oh, what do you do that? Well, I've been making this salad and I've been putting these hemp hearts in it and it's changed the game. It gives you insight into new things you maybe wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's also a way to get out of the house when you're at your lowest depression points. Because you're seeing friends and having interaction, and also with bad mental health, a lot of things make you backtrack a lot.
Yeah.
So like you're like, oh my God, I haven't done laundry in like 3 weeks and it's piling up and I need to get it done. Errand friends really could be helpful there. Be like, do you need to do your laundry? I also need to do mine.
Agreed.
You know?
I like that.
So even like you got to pay some bills and do some stuff online, call your credit card company and dispute something, whatever it is. An errand friend would be the perfect friend to call and be like, you want to meet up with me, bring your laptop to the coffee shop with me and get through our to-do list?
But I feel like the errand friend needs to be, there's like a level of proximity that needs to happen. And sometimes I feel like in Los Angeles, people confuse convenience with proximity.
Totally.
And it's like, I don't know you like that. And I actually don't want to be doing errands with you. And you just need a ride.
Yes, a lot of it is needing a ride.
It's
I get how that
crazy.
can happen, especially because I'm like, I want to have errand friends and I know I can't contribute to the driving if that has to happen with errand
Yeah.
friends in general too, because I don't drive. So I like to provide in other ways as much as I can. I want to provide the weed or provide like some other service of some kind.
But I feel like coworkers sometimes, like, we're business partners.
Yep.
But like coworkers, like I've had people that I was like working on a shoot with or
Yep.
something, you know, and it's like you smoke a little after and like you're a little friendly. But it's like, why are we suddenly like in the valley
Yeah.
picking up some like
Picking up a mic for
Like,
for
how-
what? Like
how
what?
did I get roped into becoming your errand friend when we met like maybe an hour ago?
Yes.
Or like 2 hours ago.
And errand friends are particularly popular in cities like New York and LA, where people are coming from somewhere else
Yeah.
and are maybe like chasing after like a dream of some kind. And they're just like, okay, like I have to make sacrifices to do this. I have to be friends with people I'm not necessarily I don't see in my immediate future.
Yeah,
I just need to get this job done to get people who use you for a means to an end
exactly.
should not be considered an errand friend.
Errand
Because true
friends-
errand friends are like soul sisters.
It's like people you can trust that you're autonomously doing your own things. Like Alyssa, for example, will come here in the studio and will just like literally like run through like, I need to answer this email. I need to
Yeah.
like do this bullshit. I need to pay my car insurance.
Yep.
Like, but it's not
errand
like
friend. Exactly.
I don't feel like you're about to like steal my ideas that I'm gonna tell you.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Errand friends, keep that for the sacred. You got to think like this is the person who's literally going to be with you while you wash your dirty underwear at the laundromat. Like, who do you want there for that? Someone you barely know, or one of your best friends for life that like, you know, that you think is like a sister.
Exactly.
You know, I'd prefer to have my errand friend be one of my closest friends.
I agree.
And I find the most joy out of that. However, I do think it's important to do things other than errands with your errand friends, especially since they are such integral parts of like our happiness and keeping our day-to-day movement going. Probably somebody you trust.
Yeah.
And like tell things to when you're going through it. You need to, as an errand friend, sometimes plan something a little bit nicer for you guys to enjoy, or like something nice to do. Make it a little bit special.
Yeah, it's like go get Kazunori after your errands.
Exactly.
Or like
Or
smoke
be
good
like-
weed after your errands.
Exactly. Like, okay, you know what, we did errands the past like 6 times we hung out. Maybe we should go to a nice dinner, or
Yeah.
maybe we could go like to the beach or change things up, so that you're really like making sure your friends are all happy.
I agree. Check in on your errand friend is the moral of the story.
Exactly.
Because sometimes the errand is checking in on your friend.
It really can be. It can be.
Aw. And on that beautiful, beautiful note,
It is.
This has been an incredible episode. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, send to your mom, send to your grandma, send to your dad, send
That
to
would
all the
be
people.
great.
Just don't send it to my parents. And you can follow us at Not For Nothing Pod. You can follow me at Natasha PRZ or Pussyweed. And where can they follow you?
They can find me at How Can I Help You. We will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.